I know you touched on earlier the undercard that there was Fabio Wardley and Nathan Gorman. That was one that I was looking forward to as well. Turned into a bit of a firefight, really, didn't it? And then Fabio Wardley managed to get Gorman out of there after a couple of knockdowns. Alex, give us your verdict on that one, Fabio Wardley as well.
Yeah, I gotta. I felt like Gorman was the better technician in there. It looked like his jab was a lot better. He was landing a really nice right uppercut. But Wardley, this big puncher, he showed it. Gorman tried to get up. Well, he did get up, what, 3 times? He got up. But I'm not upset with the stoppage. It just felt like it was in the inevitable. And Gorman, tough, but probably too tough for his own well-being. We don't want to see anybody stretchered out. I mean, I guess we do, but then again, it's like, come on. Maybe if it was like the second knockdown, and he gets slept, but like you've been dropped 3 times, the inevitable is going to happen. So, Wardley, where does he go from here? I don't know. Who else is there out there in that that he can beat to keep building them up? It'll be interesting how they move him because I mean he's not ready for like a Dillian White, I don't think. So yeah, I have to look at the landscape, but yeah. So I mean, he's exciting because he get knockouts, but I'm not impressed with him at all. There's nothing impressive besides the power.
Okay, Josh, what about you? What do you think of Wall? I think you might have said that you followed him a little bit. Before this fight.
exciting fight. I think he showed some adversity there because he was looking a little shaky at first with Gorman. Using his technique to really tap up Wardley, and I wanted to see how he was going to perform when tested, and I think he was certainly tested in this fight. He got his nose busted. It might have been cut on the nose as well. I know it was bleeding, but I do like the grit that he showed because in some other fighters, when they're cut, that seems to bother them very much, and they're picking at it, and you can just tell and see the shift in their whole demeanor in a fight. But with Wardley, he's decided to battle back, fight fire with fire, and I love to see him digging in like that. So this was his first legitimate test, so it's always a question of how someone is going to look. And hey, props to Gorman as well for taking this fight and really bringing it to Wardley, because I thought that he had his moments as well, but Wardley's power showed. And when they had those exchanges, you could just tell that what Wardley was landing was getting the better of Gorman, who was game throughout. But I do like what I saw from Wardley in the sense that he shows that he does have some of that makeup inside of him, that if it comes down to just throwing it all on the line, he seems to be willing to do so. And he threw out some very good combinations that he was landing and started to basically chop Gorman down with that right hand of his. Much like Alex mentioned, he seems to just be pretty solid just from an all-around standpoint. His power is probably his strong suit. He's got a little bit of, I guess, speed in his punches by comparison to some other guys. So it'll be interesting. It is a very, very interesting spot as far as where he goes next, because Gorman was a step up. And from here, I mean, it's going to have to be a guy who can really test him. I would like to say someone who probably is going to move a bit more and force him to truly box it and see how he looks boxing with someone at sort of that top level. And who that is, I don't know. Maybe a Martin McCauley or something out of Africa. Maybe him. Maybe. Yeah, there's some other guys out there. I don't know, but
it's quite a big step up, that one, isn't it?
That's probably where he's at, because you can't go down from here, I'd imagine, with the Gorman fight. You can't go down from here, so you're gonna have to get someone who really tests him.
Just looking along the BoxRec British heavyweight rankings, and Fabio Wardley's at number 7. Everyone above him you probably want to stay away from. So you got Daniel Dubois, Chisora, White, Joyce, and then Joshua and Fiore. Below that, you got David Allen, who I thought he'd retired at some point, but maybe that's a fight that they put him in with. Should blast him out.
David Allen would be a good one. I think that's a guy with a lot of experience that Wardley would probably be favored to beat. So him and Yeah, it's just a matter of where they go from here, but they're definitely going to have to keep him sort of in that right range because you don't want him to get too comfortable, but you also want him to continue to grow. And it'll be interesting for Wardley, but I did like what I saw last night, and it was an exciting fight. Probably one of the more exciting fights on the night outside of another card we're going to speak on.
Yeah, yeah. This was actually one of the ones, I tweet this out most weekends where I call it the boxing mismatch watch. And I go down the odds on oddschecker.com and I just see the ones that are relatively close, roundabout of 3-1 where the underdog is, or less. And you usually get like a couple for each weekend out of 20 odd fights. It's quite ridiculous. This was one of them that was quite close. But anyway, yeah, Fabio Wardley, want to keep an eye out for, like I say, his position at the moment is kind of at the top of the kind of domestic scene, heavyweight wise. But then there's a lot of Euros fighters out there that he could maybe go in with.
And Jim, I just want to add, I do want to see at some point down the road Wardley against Daniel Dubois. Because I feel like despite Dubois having that belt, he's still pretty much the same fighter he was when he faced Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
And of course, Joe Joyce has a level of power and a crazy chin, and that helped him. I mean, he basically was jabbing all night. But that being said, Dubois, I like to see him in with someone else who's going to actually challenge him because he has managed to pick up a title, deserving or not, but he's certainly someone I feel could be vulnerable where he matched up with a guy who is on that sort of top elite type level. And we'll see if Wardley gets there in the future.